I used to have this idea that the sound was music. And listening to the sound, we got some understanding of the truth of the music that is the sound. Through studying music perception, I've realized that sound actually only becomes music in the mind of the listener. So there's many things about the way the brain processes the sound waves that are coming in and translates them, so we have a sense of pitch when we listen to a string resonate, for example. And without those, it's just air molecules bumping into one another. So if you take the perspective that music exists in the mind of the listener, then all these things that shape the way in which the sound is perceived are actually not just decorations that get added onto the music, but they're part and parcel of the musical experience.
Music is a skill for anyone to know and to learn, and it will gives any human being a new a language, a new skill, or help them to grow a little bit more.
And a sense of beauty and structure in the day, and so many things.
Yeah, and also, well, knowing one art helped me a lot to be a little bit distinguished from like my peers or other, even in a community of friends. They knew me as an artist, as someone who can play santur well, and it as you said, in terms of identity, it could like give me something specific, different than others.
I would say that a lot of what I do is what falls under the topic musicology. And what musicology means is basically the study of music, but the term is actually used for a lot of different things. So it's used for your basic music history study, but it's also used for looking at how we understand music culturally. So how we engage with music as listeners, for example, how different cultures have different styles of music and how they use it in different situations. So have you taken any musicology?
Yes, I have. And it was very, very informative. It definitely deeply influenced how we perform on stage and our way of getting into the music. If another student wanted to go into music theory or into musicology, because I myself was in performance, what does that look like, and what courses would they be taking?
Yeah, so what it looks like is essentially you have foundational courses that you would take to give you a broad overview in your first and second year. And then when you hit your third and fourth year in university, you would do more specialized courses in the subject areas that you're the most interested in. So one example I can give you is we have an entry-level course in what's called Social History of Pop Music at Queen's. And that's to give you an overview of what's happened in pop music over the last 100 years and some of the big issues that'll come up. But then one of our profs in our department teaches a course called Gender and Pop Music as a fourth-year course. So he's basically looking at digging in more in depth, digging in more about those specific things about how men and women and other genders are maybe treated differently in the field of pop music.
And here we are at the attic of the Isabel Bader Center for the Performing Arts. We see Sonia here, our light engineer. Hi,
hello.
Sonia.
Hi.
Nice to find you in this most remote place
Truly.
of the Performing Center here. So please tell us what it is that I find you doing at the moment.
Absolutely. So before us, we see a ton of lights here.
I can tell.
So these lights, they're divided into two kinds of groups. The first group is a general wash. So with this, we cover the stage with light as evenly as possible into different areas. So we've got some levers up here. So the first one will open up this, and now we can see our beam of light down here.
Whoa.
And
do it again. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's a powerful light.
We've got some other ones to play with, so this will shrink the light. So I guess if you really wanted a pin spot just on someone's face, you could do that.
Whoa.
But if you did want it to be bigger, you can play with the size of it as well.
This is a huge control here.
It really is.
My grandmother was a fantastic seamstress, and made all my fashion dreams come true as a child. And she actually taught me as a kid, you know, pattern drafting and draping. But of course, it was in one ear and out the other because that was not the career path I thought I would ever take. And then my husband, who I blame for most of this.
Wonderful.
Who actually encouraged me and said, hey, just go out and do something in fashion. And if it doesn't work out, you know, interior design or whatever, exactly. Yeah. And so I did, and very fortunately, I got a lot of great breaks from getting into Holt Renfrew, and then realizing from there that what I really enjoyed doing was developing product and designing. And then I switched over to Club Monaco, and I, as a product developer, designing product for them. And from there, I got a great break again with a company from Paris, and I got to work with this designer in Paris.
Right. I remember when you were designing this outfit for me, you were you were emailing me saying, oh, I got some new samples from Paris.
Yes.
And I believe this is where that ultimately came from, probably connections you made.
Totally.
One theme that I'm hearing a lot that I want to emphasize for all of our younger viewers here is Rosemary's networking capability that I have experienced firsthand. She knows everybody all the time. I say, do you know X? And she says, of course. I know them for 10 years. And I mean, you're talking about big breaks. Yes, there is luck. There is such a thing as just being in the right place at the right time. But I think that you're also really strong on networking.
I always say I love to collect people.
Collecting people, yes.
And yeah, networking is really important, no matter what field you're in. It's really important to network and keep those connections and keep them alive. You know, meeting someone at one time and forgetting about them is not, you know, or if you feel that, you know, or maybe I shouldn't be talking to them, or they're in a totally different league to me, don't ever think that.
Like with Federica, you just reached out and it worked.
Just reach out and, you know, exactly. The worst they can say is no or not get an answer, but the best is...
Something happens.
Something happens.
Speaking of buying your best, how does the audition itself look like?
So there's a 20-minute warm-up period where you warm up with your accompanist if you bring one, or we can provide an accompanist for you. And then a 20-minute audition, hopefully in this beautiful hall that we're in right now.
The Isabel Bader Center for the Performing Arts.
Yep, we have the use of the building for our auditions. And some auditions happen right here on the main stage.
All right.
So you could audition in the concert hall of
Wow, you can really feel like a performer.
Absolutely. We want you to feel like that from day one.